Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Grand Arena Zone. We have Kin here, the professional. He's top 36 to 37 in the world right now, so listen to what he has to say. We got some footage from his battles, and we're going to be analyzing them. It's my first time looking at them too, but hope you enjoy. All right, thanks, Kin.
Hello. Yeah, listen to what I say. Perhaps don't do what I do, though, because as you'll see in these first few battles, I don't do very well. So this first one is a Malgus versus Starkiller, which statistically actually has a pretty decent chance of success. I think it's 60 or 70% or something like that. But as you watch this, Sangeta or Song, do you prefer your full name or a shortened one?
Sanjita.
Sanjita. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sanjita. So I'm sure you'll see a few times in here where you're like, Kin, what are you doing? Because I feel like I threw this win away by a bit of tunneling on Plo Koon for some stupid reason.
Yeah, why are you going after him first?
Well, initially, I'm trying to think back. This was at half the battles are from week 1, half the battles are from week 2. I think I was going initially for guaranteed double attacks with Malgus, but then I sort of tunnel vision on him when I should have gone for, especially once I had the buff immunity there, I should have gone for Visas, or at least get her with shock below 100% health, because bam, there we go. Plo Koon's back.
He's got 74 already, dang. Yeah. Did you have your own Starkiller to use in this match?
In this particular match, actually, I had already won, I think, by the time I did this battle.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew that I could fool around. So it's not something I normally would have tried. However, if I had won this battle, I might have used it in future matches. Although it's pretty rare for me, honestly, to see Starkiller on defense. So
yeah.
And so here we are. Look, there's a chance he has exposed.
Yeah. Oh, the counter.
Yeah. And from here, really, I mean, for the audience's viewing pleasure, I'm actually going to fast forward through this because there's nothing clever or special here. They just have way too much sustain for me to win at that stage. But I think I screwed up basically.
If you use this lineup against Malgus, you're like gonna lose most of the time, so maybe you should have just run it on auto.
Yeah, probably. They would have done a better job targeting than me. Oh, yeah. That's a good way to say that somebody's doing a crap job. Just run it on auto and you'll do better.
See an improvement. Oh, good. You got one of these. Oh, that's a good Datacron, 88% health. Holy cow.
Yeah. I was most impressed. This guy had a very, very good setup. Mine is decent, but I know that the stats for this were not really good on GG, and I had never ran. This is the first time I used Starkiller against this lineup. So I put Stick Ray in there instead of Visas just to try and go for more damage.
Interesting.
But I think you'll see where I make a mistake here as well. So right there at the opening, I should have actually gone for Stagger first, because that would give me enough TM to take another turret to get rid of the taunt on L3.
Yeah.
And also land the shock on...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd feel iffy doing that too, just without the tenacity down anyway. But what sucks is you had inspiration on Rey for a while there. Yeah,
well, that's the sort of problem with going with that other approach too. If I had missed any of the shocks, then I would have been stuck with inspiration on her as well, very likely.
Yeah, well, that's good. You got Ben under 50% too.
Yeah. We're just going for another shock on. Oh, there we go.
It's coming back, but yeah, I just got my L3 to R5, so I might be able to do something weird like this.
Yeah, it's a great setup. This is one of the, like, statistically, it's one of the best Rey teams to put on defense.
Mm-hmm.
There's no teams, not even G. Well, I think SLKR actually has close to 100% win rate, but for terrible banners.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, there's no teams that have a. I think the closest are around like 80 or so % win rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's like it has the best win rate, but then also like my just droid sortie team has gotten like so many holds for me too, and then like I just have a normal Rey team and that gets holds too, so I'm like I don't know.
Yeah. The way I feel about most of the Rey teams on defense is all of them to some extent are puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on if your opponent or you, I guess, if you're fighting them on defense, if you know how to solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because in this case, I definitely did not do a good job.
Yeah, like
of solving the puzzle.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was the Barris heal there. And I think that's because she lost shock at one point.
Yeah.
As soon as she starts gaining TMs, it's yeah.
Yeah, that's painful. All you needed was just to pull the Star Destroyer earlier.
Yeah, but that was the problem. I could have pulled it potentially very much at the beginning, but then it wouldn't really have done anything. It would have killed Ben, but he would have come right back. And the second time I had a chance to pull it, Rey was above 50% health, so Ben wouldn't have died.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost one match not too long ago where like it would have been better if I just pulled it while she was an ultimate, but I didn't want to because I wanted the damage and I just lost everyone. It's like wanting to maximize. Did you back out here? Or you kept
No, because actually, you'll see I managed to kill Ben.
Nice.
So it wasn't a total loss. The cleanup, yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
so
I lost
here.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'll pause here. We have a few.
I lost a JML versus that Rey comp a while ago because the Barris had like it was before set 7, so it wasn't the sortie Datacron, but the Barris had like 300k active health. So like my JML was just doing nothing.
Yeah, I really don't like. I don't like JML these days against Rey, especially with set 7 when she can get so much health and armor. Well, armor doesn't have to be good in JML, but
I don't prefer it either.
It's tough.
I am interested to see this.
Yeah, I see a lot of these teams. I think this was this was my week 1. No, this is probably week 2. But I think this is the first time that I saw a ZOri Rey on defense, and I messed up from the beginning. So in this, I should have put buff immunity on ZOri.
Oh yeah.
Alternatively, and I sort of correct myself a little bit later on here, I can also put it on Rey. I prefer the ZOri approach myself, so you can get her below first. But putting it on Rey also is good, so she doesn't get stealth, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And this fight is just it's more of a play fast thing because you're just eating people. You just race to alt over and over and over.
Yeah.
And don't get anybody below. So it's actually not that.
It's easier without Barris there because there's all these little hits and she's not healing up constantly.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Omicron giving Rey 100% health.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying. The nice thing, though, is if you make sure that you get to contract pretty quick, you can save yourself a lot of damage.
Yeah. Would Boba be better here because he can do healing immunity?
From my perspective, Boba, there are some comps where Boba's actually great. I don't personally like him myself. I prefer the extra alt generation from Skiff Lando, and I like Embo for the the dispels.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get rid of Skiff Lando. I don't like Embo. I am prejudiced against Embo. But
to be honest,
is he mainly useful for his basic dispel then?
In this particular comp, since there's not a tank, the basic dispel just sort of lowers your damage because it gets rid of the offense. But here's where I screwed up the fight here. I shouldn't have gone for Ben. Really, the whole fight is all about just to focus on Rey and eat people with nom 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 nom. You never want to kill Ben, because then with regular damage, because then he gives healing immunity or instant defeat immunity to the rest of the team, and you'll probably time out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think in this case I don't remember it. That's why at the beginning of the video it's better to remember what I say perhaps and not what I do. But
sometimes Rey's ultimate just seems to last forever.
Yeah. So another thing that's actually nice about Embo is Embo takes a lot of turns because he has the chance to get a bonus turn. I forget the specific criteria on crit or something like that. I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But specials are what generates Jabba's ultimate charge. So the more that you have the specials going from Embo, I always use a special whenever there is available. The more charge you have, all charge for Jabba.
Yeah,
so
I've always just
sort of
hated how he removes his own protection, and it's not even really that good or worth it.
Yeah, right here I lost the fight. So because I killed him with regular damage, he has instant defeat immunity.
Yeah.
So now I have to get Rey. Well, she's not below 50% now. I should have realized.
Yeah.
I was frustrated and running out of time.
Yeah. I mean, I would. Oh, yeah, with the ult there.
Yep.
I was gonna say I would think you'd be able to beat it, but yeah, it's probably timing out now.
Yeah, I'm playing too slow. Should have just gone for damage on her.
Oh my gosh, this is way too... You should have... Yeah, dang.
I could have won probably, but my main mistake was if I had just not killed Ben with regular damage and instead gone for the ultimate and just focused on Rey and eaten him with the ultimate, it would have been just fine. But no.
You got any wins recorded for us?
the rest of the fight is all wins. Okay. I thought I'd start off on a low note and then...
Oh, this looks interesting.
Yeah. This one actually is one of the ones that won the fight for me because my opponent dropped a few battles, so I just knew that I had to... Well, I think I could drop one, but more or less just one shot with crap banners and I would be fine.
Yeah.
So I decided to try this setup. And in this particular comp, I had my Rey on defense also, but I had ZOri with Rey too after fighting it in the previous match. Like, oh, that seems fun. I'll do that. And one nice thing, I don't know if you noticed, but attacking, yeah, look at that.
Wait, how much damage was that?
Let's go back and take a look.
He had like offense down and crit damage down, and he still got 800k.
Yeah, so it's not even that great of a Datacron. 44% crit damage, mediocre-ish.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I wouldn't say that I have a particularly special. He's R8, but that's nothing super great. His mods are mediocre. Okay. I think it was mostly because all of the frenzy they had.
Wow. I brought my Qui-Gon for offense, or I'm bringing him this round, so maybe I'll try that. My opponent likes to set Darth Revan lead. Yeah.
I'm surprised. So that's their Datacron. The first one was mine. Mine is Tank Revive, which obviously doesn't play a role since there's no tank in this team, and a lot of defense. But with the introduction of Trench, I stopped using Watt with C.
Yeah.
Partially with Trench, and partially because I don't think Savage is needed with Traya unless you put Savage on defense.
Yeah.
So I've started using Savage in this Malgus counter with C. I think he dies half the time, but it's still like a 64, 65. Which is a pretty decent trade, not having to use Night Sisters, not having to use Watt, etc.
You really want to save your Night Sisters that much?
Well, I thought that I would likely go for Marin when she released. I think this is before her kit was announced. And in week 3, I did. It's the first character I've whaled on in well over a year, I think. But I have a Relic Marin. Actually, you'll probably see it on Xerath's stream tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope I can catch that. If this comes out before Xerath's stream, go watch him face Kin. If it has already happened, by the time, just go watch the replay. You'll be able to see Kin. Or Xerath face Kin's defense.
Yeah, well, Marin's on the front wall. No surprise. Actually, I hope this comes out afterwards now, so Xerath doesn't watch it and prepare appropriately.
Do you think General Grievous will take care of it? With like a no revive cron?
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible. I think there's quite a few things that could do it, but my strategy, if he uses General Grievous, frankly, I would be ecstatic. Because there's 3 teams. I won't say them now in case you actually do release this before Xerath. But there's 3 teams that I think will take out the Marin Night Sisters. I think they're all probably like 80-90% chance of doing it. Then there's plenty of teams that could do it if you give exactly the correct Datacron. Like no revive in general is going to shut down the Night Sisters, but you have to use it on a team that can get kills. And what Marin brings is an enormous amount of, if you have any debuffs, a lot of protection regeneration, especially with Asajj in there. Because I have the Asajj Omicron as well. So there's not a lot of, they're more durable than you would think.
Yeah, my opponent has her, so it's good to know.
Oh, really?
My face.
At Relics?
Yeah, it's a 12.5 million account. They're in Maw. They have the Separatist Commander tag, so they're one of those that were in it when they beat Darkside GOTB the first time.
Yeah.
33 stars. Yeah, so we haven't talked about this match. Starkiller versus Sortie. Makes sense to me because she's like kind of a menace. So was this like an overkill, or you had a lot of stuff left? Were you worried about her?
I had a lot of stuff left, and I was going for like 63, 64 banners.
Yeah.
So at this stage, it was actually going better than I expected, and I was mostly trying to get back because I've hit 60 banners here now, which is not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah, there it is. Love to see the 65.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well. We have another shorty fight coming up here, but vastly overkilling. Actually, worse banners than Starkiller. But this is a case where I wasn't quite sure about the Droideka Kron, to be honest.
Yeah. I said Dark Trooper with mine a few times because I didn't think I'd have a use for IT on offense, and it worked pretty well. Or I don't know what they used, but they got holds.
I looked that up on GG afterwards because you're the only person I've seen using Dark Trooper with Shorty. Very, very clever. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, it was born out of limitation. I didn't have enough light side droids, so it was either him or Droidica, and I just thought Droidica wasn't going to do anything. But yeah, she will give him advantage with her second special, and then he can hit pretty hard because he's critting. People don't expect it.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the biggest advantages. Like, you look it up and you're like, oh, this has been seen 3 times in the last month or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's no real data to base it on.
Yeah, I love when I can find a comp like that because I look at my own comps to see what beats them, and if it's like no data there, I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Cha-ching.
You can't just go to the books.
Yeah, definitely. Here we have, this is actually on GG. I don't think it's been seen very much, but it has a very high win rate. So it's the first time that I personally had used it.
This is what I do every time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With Baze in there?
Well, not with Baze, but I mean this bounty hunter lineup. Does Baze make it harder?
I was thinking it could stand a chance because it's just another way, because you have Scarif, Rebel Pathfinder, Baze, and Jin, and Adrad all with AoEs.
Yeah.
So with all of the crits, I was afraid the timing would line up and I would lose most likely, what's her face? Fennec.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, it was extremely easy.
Yeah. Pretty simple there. I lost against one with K2 and the last round because I just couldn't get around they ability blocked Mando turn 1, so I couldn't call the assist on the weakest for 6 hits. And then by the time I got around the taunt, they had so many buffs I couldn't see who the weakest was, or I thought it was still Jin and it switched to Biston, and then I lost because I didn't get contract. I still won overall, but it was like, it was super annoying.
Yeah, some of the Adrad teams can be very, very frustrating. I sort of like to use Aura generally, but I don't like using Aura against Baze because it can totally, like, it takes away a lot of your initiative at the beginning because it usually takes a turn first and removes all your buffs, so you have to start with train over.
True.
But this is pretty easy. And I think there's only 1 or 2 more fights here. The pacing of this video was me getting my ass beat at the beginning, and then easier and easier fights throughout.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what the last one is here. Don't recall off the top of my head. Oh yeah. This is basically why it's a pretty good JML Datacron.
Yeah.
Why you shouldn't place
high defense, protection.
Yeah, it was like 100 and some defense and 30%, 25% protection. But there's just no way to stop troopers. This is one of the few times where I'm actually able to use my troopers. That's why I like your Dark Trooper with Shorty, because a lot of times, at least with the current Datacron sets, I don't end up using my troopers.
Which is crazy because at first they seem so crazy with that turn meter game, but there's just a lot of teams where it doesn't matter.
Yep, exactly.
But I mean,
it'll be interesting with
this JML team. It's got scrubs. Like, I mean, Barris is there to make it annoying, but there's like no bite to them.
Yeah, having JKR in there would definitely help, but still get run over by troopers.
Yeah,
even though he
gets
sad. Yeah, and yeah, at least that's one thing that's having set 6 gone. There we go. That's the end of the video.
Under a minute.
Yeah, I love that counter.
Yeah, I'll be happy to see set 6 gone and sad because, I mean, I use it. I like using it all the time. I'm used to it, but it's time to go. Um, set 8 just dropped. I haven't had time to fully look at it, but you were telling me some stuff. What do you think of set 8?
I agree with you on set 6. It's been one of my favorite offensive, in particular, Datacron sets to use. Um, I think set 8 is actually more powerful than set 6 if you look at it both offensively and defensively. Because in set 6, I mean, Hondo is probably the best level 9 ability you had for a defensive use.
Yeah.
A lot of them were great on offense and also decent on defense, but like none. ZOri, I guess, is also very good, but she's set 7. I think with set 8, there's quite a few level 9s that are going to be good for both offense and defense. So a bit more annoying for people depending, well, whether when you're attacking or defending. And there's a lot of really strong combinations. Like we were talking a little bit with the Tuskens. Tuskens have some pretty nice level 6s, a couple of options, one in particular. And then they have the level 3 protection up when they apply dots. And Tuskens apply a lot of dots. So, and they have a few good level 9s also.
What's annoying is there's so Tuskens, there's 5 characters only, and they have 5 different level 9s. So it's like it's gonna be a real crapshoot to like get the ones you want. And since it's both light side and dark side, it's like every faction has 7 different abilities for it, which we've had going on, but it's just hard to target what you want. And with all the level 9s like Tuskens, like you really need a level 9 on each of them. That's what kind of bugged me. And for Separatists, there's 7 abilities too, and there's only like 3 Separatist teams you can make. So it's like
it's perfect for 3v3.
Yeah. This is the first set where it's like lined up pretty much exactly with what I expected, because I was like, okay, they said they're gonna have a Tusken set and Road Ahead, so figured that. Trent's is out, so you figured there's Separatists, and we've been waiting a while for an unaligned Force User one. That finally came around, so
yeah, there's some really interesting combinations there in the UFU tag. Gonna make Ben very interesting. Mara Jades looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
that'll be really fascinating for. I think it'll put all of the Rey teams back on the menu for Starkiller.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one I'd bump up for it for sure. I have her R5 now, but definitely R7.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very powerful set. Not really. I don't think there's anything there that's going to be really frustrating for people, like the equivalent of Dodge. Or some of the early level 9s for, the GLs, which I'm glad they're moving away from that, but
yeah, that is good. Yeah, no GL.
Definitely will be a good one.
Datacrons. I'm glad it's not Inquisitor specific, although they are all unaligned Force users, but there's no like level 9 for them. Yeah. And I don't know. I hope my Maul counter works with his new set. I got it to work last round. I don't know if you saw that yet, but I realized mid battle that they just didn't have the Omicron, because I was like, oh, I'm not getting Death Mark. This is nice. But I mean, it's still not a pushover team even without it, but I still have yet to see if it works against the Omicron.
I don't think it's going to do that great against the Omicron, because you're basically self-death marking yourself every time one of the Mandos takes a turn.
Yeah, but if you have Bam in there, it's going to give damage immunity, and then you're going to be immortally taunting.
That's true. If he can be triggered, and you can give it to your healthiest character in time, or Bam very likely would be the healthiest.
Yeah, and like, think about this too. Like, Death Mark is 50% health damage, which is a lot, but if you mod for protection on that team, you have Bo-Katan, you have plus 80% protection. Then you have a health pool of like 60, 70k and a protection pool of like 160 to 200k. Then it's not as much of the percentage.
Yeah, true.
And then you can recover when you take a turn. So, I mean, that's the theory behind it anyway. Everyone keeps telling me, oh yeah, that's not going to work. Someone showed me footage that they tried it, but they had Short Trooper with their Mandalorian team. And the only thing that worries me is Maul got death marked somehow, even though he didn't cleanse anything. He didn't get cleansed at all. He had no debuffs. Or, like, he didn't lose Purge or anything. So I don't know why he would have got cleansed. That's the only thing that worried me.
Does Purge expire after a few turns? Could he have let it expire? I don't recall what Reva's leadership is.
I thought it was cleanse, but I don't think it expired because it's like Purge is like a permanent debuff until it's like dispelled. It's not like locked, but it's like they can stack Purge until like conditions are met, like they consume it or something.
Yeah, I certainly think it can work. I just think you have to have it set up exactly so. And protection is back in set 8 also, so that may help as well. Because you can mod for even higher protection.
Yeah. The rest of the stats, I don't think they're that powerful. I think it's just I like protection, I like crit damage, but there's like accuracy, crit chance, crit avoidance
I think
is fine.
Health steal is pretty nice. That's
yeah, it's all right. Are we running out of time on the?
We're very close, yeah.
All right, well, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching. Kim, thank you for sharing your Grand Arena with us, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.
My pleasure. Thanks, man. It was fun. Cheers.